Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. The price did pull back a little bit. Are you still bullish? Are we out? Are we in? Are we long? How you feeling, mate?
Morning. Oh, totally forgot to retweet this. I just did. And yeah, very, very surprising the price pull back. I'm gonna talk about why I'm surprised at the price pull back. I mean, it's obvious why the price pull back. I'm finally back 100% long in the market, and Bangbox executed its first trade immediately as the price was pulling back. So obviously, since we both entered the trade and we're public people, the price has no choice but to immediately pull back. It's how markets work. But other than that, yeah, no, the charts still look very, very bullish to me. I mean, it was going to pull back sooner or later. We had to go long. I mean, you kind of have to at some point go long. I'm happy that I started entering way earlier than this. But let's talk about it. Do you want to go? Should I do a screen share first then?
I'll go first. You went first yesterday, and I'll be brief.
All right, go ahead.
I before I go into the show, please like and oh, wait 1 second. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends, and you know the drill by now, all dear listeners. I'm just trying to get rid of. Hey, Tone, how do I get that thing, the Zoom thing, to disappear? Does it just at the
It's
top?
somewhere. It's around. You just can't see it. Sometimes it's tricky and it goes up and it goes to a weird
Ah,
place.
got it. I had to move it. All right, cool. So, sorry about that, guys. We have a fantastic promotion with Blowfin running right now. We've nearly filled all of these seats, but we're bringing Bangbox to Blowfin as soon as possible. It'll be a week or 2 weeks away. This is one of the best, if not the best, non-KYC exchanges I've ever seen. I'm very, very close with the one of the senior executives out here. He might be in the comment sections right now, but we have a great deposit and cashback bonuses available. So I thought I'd bring this thumbnail up. I'll do this while we run this program. We do have another program going after this one for Bangbox on the release of Bangbox, but please get in quick. We've nearly filled all these seats, so it's a fantastic exchange. Keep that in mind. Before I go any further, I will bring up the charts. Here we go. All right. So in yesterday's show, and I don't know if it was on your show or the show I did with Justin Ballou. And please, if you didn't see that, please go back and watch it. That's not as time sensitive as anything else. More macro and more explaining the bot. We did that yesterday. It's on the Financial Summit. I don't know where I mentioned this, but I said that we have to come back. We have to come back and retest the 7 simple moving average. Was that yesterday, Tone? Do you remember me saying that, mate?
I think that was with Baloo.
All right. Yeah, I said people always hate when I say we have to do this, we have to do this. But when the price was up here at 68, I said on the daily time frame, we will definitely have to. We have to at one point, whether it's here or whether it's up higher, we will come back and have a reversion to the mean, come back and retest the 7 simple moving average, which we have now done. We are below the 7 simple moving average on the daily time frame, which is fine. It's fine. It doesn't mean we're going to cascade down like this, but the price will always float above and below and around, reversion to the mean, always back down to the 7 simple moving average. It's a must. And now we have cracked through it. Just before we started the show, we had touched on it perfectly and we had bounced slightly off it, but it looks like we are tearing down as this show commences. So what does that mean? It just means we might get a really good MRI chance to re-enter here. Like we did come up and get the MRI top at a really good candle here. We had a couple more candles progress further than it. And if we close this, below this 7 simple moving average tomorrow and then start to print a daily red star candle, I just see that as further chance to buy the dip at this point. I really don't expect that we're going to come lower than these lows right here. I think it's very, very, very highly likely that we'll come back down and find support at one of these areas. And the higher we find support, the more bullish the market really is for me. But anything clean here would be a great buy the dip for me. I think that we'll put in a really strong W pattern that goes in, that eventually breaks out of this descending triangle, breaks the modified lucid star, and jumps the creek on everything that I spoke about yesterday. Copy curve flips. I'm not concerned about this small correction at all. This could recover today. But if not, if we come back down to the 50 here, or come back down to the 30, or come back down to the 200, they're all by the dip zone for me, as long as we stay above this 56 zone. I'm completely comfortable in any buy the dip in this range. I mean, we might already have it right now, but that's it on the daily time frame. We'll go down the time frames more, where in last week's show, in the last few weeks shows when the price was looking pretty bearish, I was saying on the weekly time frame, 3 day time frame, even daily time frame, we're still struggling here, but I can make a case on the lower time frames. Well, this is the exact inverse, where I'm super duper bullish on the higher time frames, on the 3 day, on the weekly, the monthly, but I can make it's not a bearish case, but a case for a correction on the lower time frames. And as you look at the 12-hour right now, with the red star candle coming on the MRI, definitely it looks like we're pointing to get a retest of the 30 here, which would be 63, something like that. That's a pretty big jump. I do think that the market can hold in this position, but if not, I would be looking for a buy if you're a 12-hour time frame trader down here at this 63 zone. Still, again, it keeps the same principles I said on the daily to stay above the 65, but with the 200, we've got a bit of a cluster here. I can definitely see that pulling back. 4 hour time frame, and conversely, if we come back up and start breaking above 68, this thing is rock and rolling. So it's not. I'm not saying that there's only a bearish case. It's just there's a case for the bear side, and on a 4 hour, you'll see it really clearly. The lower the time frames I go, the clearer the case looks like. So I love when we come back and retest the 30. That's what I always talk about. But on this 4 hour candle, we have come down and broken through the 30. So we've still got the 50 above us. But after that, we start to look at, well, we've got to put a higher high in than this. Start to break that. We start to look for the 200. And then save for that, we've got the MRI support and the same thing I talked about from the weekly, the 12-hour, all the way down. There's a case for a drop here on the 4 hour time frame. But just as I said on the 12-hour time frame, these candles can recover and we can start to get super duper 100% insanely bullish breakout trade again. We don't have to go that far. It's only $2,000 to the upside, and this thing starts to look fantastic again. This is natural. This is a normal kind of correction. I'm just going to finish the show with the frustrating news for me on Bangbox that we had our first trade initiate last night, and it was one of the worst trades it could have possibly happened. But that's, as Tone said, that's par for the course. It means nothing to me. This is the whole point of Bangbox, that you just set it and forget it. You take the wins and the losses all together. Overall, you're going to win. So we did enter the trade here. I was really excited. I didn't see the trade enter. I was asleep, obviously, but this looked like a really good chance to break out after we had come down throughout last night's show, and then we had popped back up. It really did look like we were going to crack on. So I don't begrudge Bangbox for taking that trade, but we had I think this is a good example of Bangbox, to be honest. Even though it was a losing trade, I'm not making excuses. It was a losing trade. I'll immediately say that. I don't control the trades. But the fact is, that looked like a clean breakout. It didn't happen, and we closed the trade out with a risk management in place. Everybody got closed, and the prices continued to drop an additional 2.5%, which with 10x leverage is additional 25%. So getting out here wasn't ridiculous at all. We're back below. We can reload and get back in. In fact, we will. It'll just so I said on the daily time frame, we'll always retouch the 7. We will always touch this 128-day EMA. We'll always be above it, below it. We'll always flirt with it, and we'll catch the next one. So all good. No trade right now. We'll see what happens as the day progresses. I'm coming back to you now.
Oh, wait.
All right, man.
Oh no, go back to screen share. Go back to screen share. Yeah.
Hey.
So what exactly is that purple moving average?
128-day EMA.
100.
Sorry. Let me repeat that. 128 period EMA.
That's 128 period, and this is a 15-minute candle chart.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay, wasn't sure what that. So you're using 128. Oh, awesome.
Well, I changed it. I was initially using 200, to be honest, and then with my investigation through extensive research, I changed it to follow my old mate Tone Vase and to 128. It was getting better results. So once again, Tone has his hand in my work. Before
All
you go
right.
into the zone, please
Yep.
like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please join the Discord group in the description below. Join Blowfin, join BitGet, just one of the affiliate links, and you can get into the Discord group. You can use the free bot. Absolutely fantastic. And we welcome you. So, Tone, take it away, mate.
All right. So someone posted this link to a page in our overall DMRI group chat, just tracking the number of Mount Gox coins that are being distributed. So keep in mind, guys, that I actually thought that it was they had close to 140,000 Bitcoin. This is indicating that they have a starting balance of 90,000 Bitcoin, and about half has been distributed. So yes, it's possible that some of the people that are getting this Bitcoin are selling this Bitcoin. This is, however, different than Germany that was definitely selling 40,000 Bitcoin. This Bitcoin may or may not be sold. It's up to the person receiving the Bitcoin whether they want to sell it or not. And I think that in this environment, there really shouldn't be a big rush in trying to sell this Bitcoin, but some of it will, of course, be sold. What is making me incredibly bullish and why I think it's a little strange that the market is down so much today? Look how much Bitcoin was purchased yesterday by the ETFs. It's actually a bigger day's purchase than on any other day all of last week. And last week, we saw 18,000 Bitcoin get purchased by the ETF. And on none of those days was there a 7,000 Bitcoin purchase. The other crazy thing is that the entire 7,000 was coming from BlackRock. I mean, BlackRock is just completely dominating the Bitcoin ETF space. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are not even going to be around at the end of the year, like Franklin Templeton or Wisdom Tree. I think even the Valkyrie ETF is in a bit of trouble. Invesco, because the company is so big and they have so many other products, including the most popular NASDAQ ETF. I think Invesco will just keep theirs going, but we'll see. Maybe one of these companies is looking to buy out Valkyrie. Leah Wald has moved on to be the CEO of a different company as well. Vanek, Bitwise, I mean, they're more established. They'll probably stick around. Obviously, ARK is going to stick around and Fidelity is going to stick around. Grayscale will eventually disappear, but it's still going to take years for them to sell off their remaining 270,000 Bitcoin. But like BlackRock is just absolutely crushing it, not only from the amount of Bitcoin, but just from the volume being traded. They're 5 times more volume than their next biggest competitor, which is Fidelity. And Fidelity is now trading with a higher average than Grayscale. And as Grayscale continues to lose more and more Bitcoin, they've already sold off 56%. As this gets to 70% and Fidelity gets ahead of Grayscale, their volume of trades is going to go down closer to ARK and Bitwise, whose volume should slightly rise over time. But I think that's a very, very interesting dynamic. Now, let's talk about the weekly chart. I see this as just a simple pullback. I don't see this as these 5 weekly candles going down with the final candle being the disaster. I don't see it that way. I think the worst case scenario is a move down to 61,500, but I think even a move that low is probably unlikely. On a weekly scale, it looks like this is a big deal. In reality, I think maybe halfway down the candle is a little bit more realistic, and then we rally back up. It's really interesting how we still have not broken your modified lucid SAR, so the wave remains red under the 200 period moving average here. And I think this will flip the SAR somewhat soon, maybe next week. I think this week is going to be a little more of consolidation on a 4-day scale. This is now 100%. I have too many labels. I'm just going to put one single label instead of, because I did it in pieces, but I did it so close to each other. And I'm just going to pick the very tip of this candle to kind of indicate better as to where that happened. Yesterday's 25% was entered at a very low of the market. I'll show it to you on, but yesterday's low. Today is obviously lower than that. I'm just gonna flip this to 100%, and trolls could chew me out later. But this is approximately where it was. I'm just picking the top after we get a few more candles. Remind me to like move it a little bit higher, like over here. But then you won't be able to see where that tip is. So I'm just gonna put it like right there, like a little bit above that candle even, and it's approximately inside that candle. So that's where I am 100%, but some of it was entered a lot lower, right? So if I average it out, I did enter lower than current price, so I am still in the green since I dollar cost averaged back in over the last 48 hours. The daily chart gave us a green star candle, and we just got a price flip back to a red-ish, back to a red MRI number. I would like to see this red MRI print. I would love to see this completely reset. I don't really want to see a second consecutive MRI top. I would rather have it reset, and I would rather have another green star candle a couple of days from now, as that green star candle is breaking your SAR.
Bless you.
Excuse me. As that candle is breaking the SAR. So how low do I think this pullback can go? Well, let's get rid of these arrows. I think it will only go as low as these moving averages. You have 3 moving averages. You have 3 levels of support. You have the 128-day, you have the 50-day, and then you have the 20-day. It's crazy that they are in backwards order, but they are going to flip. And the longer we consolidate here, the cleaner it will be on the upside once they eventually flip. So, and I'm going to do them in order as well. The most likely area of support is the 128-day moving average. It is the strongest moving average out of them all. The second best place for the pullback is the next area, which happens to be the 50-period moving average, which is a stronger moving average than the 20-period moving average. And by the time we do get to the 50, if we get to the 50, the 20 will already have been above it anyway, right? So if anything, either we just pull back into the 128-day, which is 65,000, or we go a little bit lower and we go to 63,500, where you have a golden cross of the 20 going above the 50. And I don't think we're even going to touch the 200. I think that's just going to slowly be here. And the wave is going to flip on the next green star candle, no matter how you slice it. So I think the star will come down a smidge, and you have to break the prior candle's high, well, prior 2 candles highs, basically. So that's kind of how I see it. I do think this is a short-term pullback, and up from here. On a short-term chart, here's the 4-hour. You know what? The 4-hour is already at its support. Here's my best fit line here, and it's coming up on a moving average as well. We may have already reversed at the 10 a.m. reversal. Again, it is 10:09 a.m. We can go to the 1 hour. We can see how we reversed at the very end of the hour that ended at 10 a.m. Let's go down to 5 minutes. Let's see where that happened. The reversal came at the 9:50 candle, and the 9:55 candle made the reversal. So that's close enough to 10 a.m., just like we did yesterday. However, we're definitely not out of the woods. You can easily
I like today's 10 a.m. reversal better, because you had a very good blow off, like dump right before the 10 a.m. So it's a very convenient place to place a stop loss. Yeah, I actually quite like that.
You do have to break this trend line, and by the time you break this trend line, you're going to be breaking some of these moving averages. Now, this is just a 5-minute chart. We could, go to a 1-hour chart. And that's a nice looking trend line as well. Yes, we are dealing with a red star candle, but it's on the hourly scale. This trend line on the hourly can certainly be adjusted like this. and we can go all the way out. Beautiful trend line.
Yeah.
Now it's a smidge higher. I mean, we break this
That's
trend line,
that's
we're
that's
good.
that's better anyway because that this candle's got to break the retest of the breakdown zone. Like it makes total sense to come back and retest exactly where that line is because that's where it broke down in the first place. So putting in a lower low in that sequence.
So I am pretty bullish here. I do think that we can rally back to these $68,000 highs even later today. I mean, yes, even I knew yesterday was a good day, but even I didn't expect 7,000 Bitcoin to be purchased by the ETFs, guys. I mean, these ETFs, they're not as much of a black hole as Grayscale used to be, but it's a minor black hole, right? Like it goes in, it doesn't really come out. Even on some of these down days, it barely comes out, right? They have enough liquidity that they don't have to sell these coins. When a bear market comes, it's going to be a massacre of how much Bitcoin these ETFs are going to sell. It's going to be brutal when the bear market eventually comes, which is why I would recommend people sell a little more Bitcoin when they think the top is in for this bull market versus prior bull markets. But this bull market could also be significantly higher than people expect because of the ETFs. The ETFs have the ability to drive the cycle top this cycle higher than it otherwise would. This concept of diminishing returns, like the lower highs every cycle, could actually be broken. It is possible by percentage terms. We go higher this cycle than last cycle. I felt that last cycle was ended way earlier than it was supposed to at 68,000. All of us were expecting, was it 68,000? Yeah, 68,000. I thought all of us, I was so sure we are going to hit at least high 80s, low 90s, and that was the low end target. I really thought we were going to break 100. So if, let's say, I was off by 50% on the last cycle, and a lot of us were off by 50%, some of us were off by 75%, not myself, but some popular analysts were off by 75, 80%. They were expecting 300 plus. So let's say I'm going to just use my own. I was off by 50%. I thought it was going to be like maybe 25 to 50% higher. So if we're expecting diminishing returns, right? That means with diminishing returns, we're expecting maybe 200 this time around, maybe 250, and that keeps us under the percentage of going to 68,000 last cycle. But now if we're off by 50% the other way, we're talking 500,000 for Bitcoin. 500,000 for Bitcoin breaks the prior swing high. By percentage terms, it puts us right here. Right here, here's the high of last cycle, the purple. Matching the high of last cycle is on this cycle is $400,000 Bitcoin, 410, something like that. Let's say 400, right? We can easily go to 500 and we break the cycle of going lower by percentage each cycle. I think that's very, very possible this cycle, and the ETFs are going to help us get there because 7,000 Bitcoin were purchased yesterday, and yesterday 450 Bitcoins were mined, right? I know there are people with a lot of Bitcoin that need to sell, probably Roger Ver to pay for his lawyers, and I am supporting Roger Ver in this one. I thought that was messed up, what the U.S. government did, but like there's only so much Bitcoin people have to sell. Like if the ETFs are buying 40,000 Bitcoin a week, with only 3,000 Bitcoin a week being mined, I mean, there's going to be a short squeeze like people won't even believe.
Agreed. Agreed. You get me excited, man.
Yeah. So it's weird that we fell so much today, considering how much Bitcoin was purchased yesterday. Very, very, very surprising. All right, quick peek at the traditional markets. Gold stabilizing. I am bullish on gold, as you guys know. Let's see what's happening here. S&P going back up. Oh, that's a 1 minute chart. That doesn't really tell us anything, does it?
Not bad.
S&P going back up. Look at that. This is the daily chart of the S&P. After last week's disastrous week, we're going up. I think it's over. I think the uncertainty over President Biden's not choosing to run A little weird that he's still president, but
Where is he?
okay.
He's
Uh,
disappeared.
Nobody knows. It looks like there is now certainty who is going to be running for president. Is going to be Kamala. Whenever there is certainty, markets do well. Whenever there is uncertainty, market does not do well because people, with uncertainty, people raise cash and they sell speculative assets. I think there's certainty coming back into the political spectrum, which is bullish for the stock market. Here's the CME future. Stock market is having a good day today. Hopefully this is the NASDAQ. And it's NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is looking fairly bullish on this weekly candle. We're about the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is having a nice bullish Harami candle, and TSLA is stabilizing as well. So let's see. I talked about Tesla yesterday. All right, I'm good. I'm going to leave it here. And I'm coming back over to you, Matt. Oh, look at that. The hourly candle is still creeping up. Had a beautiful 10 a.m. reversal once again on the 950 candle. The 950 candle made a low on a 10-minute candle chart. We're getting ready to break this moving average. I mean, I think we're going to go back up above 67 today. Are we going to break 68? I'm not sure. But I don't mind this consolidation. Again, the more we consolidate, the more we allow the moving averages to catch up and stabilize and be in their proper order of hierarchy. Right now, they're in backwards hierarchy. All right, that's it for me.
No, mate, I certainly don't mind consolidation at or near the top. That doesn't bother me at all. It for the untrained eye, you might think that Tony and I said the same thing in the show tonight, but we are using different moving averages, and I think that we came to the same conclusions. It looked like Tony and I were in sync with what we thought for the market right now, and so that's really good for me. All right, please like, subscribe, please share with your friends. Please join below, Finn. We've got the great deposit bonuses right now, and BitGet 2 is always available. Use the bot. It's going to be great. Join the Discord group. See you tomorrow.